In a hyper-connected world where personal identity intersects with professional influence, our next panel discussion unpacks the art and also science of building personal brands online and, of course, offline. Beyond vanity metrics, we explore authentic self-expression, monetary value creation, and influence across social media platforms. So, how exactly can you transform passion into purpose, voice into value, and of course, presence into impact, whether in the boardroom, online space, or global market? Our next session is going to be about that. So, for that, let me invite our guests. Denitsa Mihalova Al-Shanfari, founder, Deniz Global Justice. Salem Kamas, influencer and chairman, Celebrity Real Estate. Neelam A. Verma, CEO and co-founder, Wealth Link Solutions. And of course, to moderate this session, I have a very interesting person coming up here on stage. I request the very affable, sometimes sarcastic, but always funny, Cyrus Broecha to join us here on stage, ladies and gentlemen.
I think the music's too much, guys. It's not that great a show. Calm down, calm down. All right, I know people are tiring and what we call in the theater a quality, not a quantity audience. So you can come forward and sit. My venereal disease has ended. There's no worry here by touch or anything like that. So please come forward, don't worry. Economy class, come forward and sit, now. We've got three eminent personalities who are not taking money to be here. And I frankly think they should, but that's another story. Yeah, come. Take your time. Do it the Indian way. 15 minutes to get to the front seat. No problem. Sorry? Yes. I've been told by Denitsa that we have to start from that side and she's politically connected, so big. No, listen, I'm from India. You just have to use your influence. We accept. Done. So we're going to, the conversation, I've even forgotten the topic, so let me just check. It's brand me, right? Okay, it's brand me, not brand me too, which is a whole failed brand. I won't get into that. Sorry, there'll be a lot of that rubbish tonight. But brand me, I have no idea why I have to moderate this. I'm very good on the subject of cricket, dogs, and second marriages. But they didn't want to do that for some reason. So we're going to do brand me. Now, brand me is all about people inventing themselves, becoming the brand. One of the great examples I have is Dr. Vijay Mallya, who's not actually a doctor, but he's got the title. In India, we do that sometimes. You can just put the title there. He was the brand, whether you like it or not, he was the brand. He was the king of good times. That was the slogan, and he was very much that. And so he was one of the originals before Instagram, etc. But Neelam, we'll start with you, because you told me offline that there were like two worlds. For some of us who've grown up a little earlier, there was one world and one avatar. And then, of course, there's this new world and this new avatar, which you have to embrace to become this out there brand of yourself. So in less than 20 seconds, Neelam, no, I'm kidding, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Well, this is an interesting one. That's what I discussed. The past me, or the brand me, was exuberant, ambitious, trying to prove to the world that, yeah, I am here, trying to make yourself visible. So that was the past me. Today, I think I am more at harmony. I'm more at ease. I'm trying to make a difference by not saying what I do, but why I do it. So there's a huge amount of difference. I would say I was, if I have to compare myself to a brand, I would say I was a Michael Kors that time. Today I'm more like a Hermes. I'm more quieter, more exclusive, more,
And obviously far more
bespoke.
wealthy. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge leap. Wow.
So it becomes more exclusive. I think being a strategic thinker, that is how I would think. So that's the difference. I think 20 seconds it was.
Yeah. That's what my wife said. All right. Calm down. It's not that kind of show. It's a serious show. We're having serious conversation. But in between with my ADHD, I might talk about anything else. So ignore it. But that's a very interesting point here where basically, how do we become a brand? Is it a very like a sort of a choice that you make in a very conscious way where you plan and market yourself? Or do you just be yourself and hope for the best?
Well, coming into the financial industry, I don't think you can be loud enough. So it has to be extremely quiet. I would say it has to be strategic. So if I have to brand myself, I'll say I'm a strategic architect, driven by a value system, driven by principles, long-term values. That is what we propagate in the financial markets. So it's a completely different take compared to the real brand which you see in the market. So if I have to make sure that I am visible, I have to do it quietly through meaningful relationships, partnerships, associations, and the success that I bring to the table. That is how people will remember me. People will not remember what I said. People will remember where their money is, how it has been grown or it has degrown. So the objective is to be as sincere as possible by creating a brand which is subtle yet very effective, exclusive, bespoke, and extremely quiet.
Okay, there's a gentleman in the back who's on the phone watching adult erotica, and he's asked a question, how much is Neelam worth?
Priceless.
Brand Neelam.
Priceless.
Well answered. If this was a Miss India finalist, you'd have won. All right. Okay, well done, Neelam. Let's go up to Salem. We had the pleasure of talking to him, and he's got a lot of interesting philosophy. I think he's going to repeat that to this audience as well. About the fleeting fame that we seem to have today. Lots of 17-year-olds become famous overnight and then disappear in a few minutes, literally. Their millions of views all just disappear. He's going to give us some examples as well. So, Salem, please take over.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Salam Khammas. I think few of you know my presence in the TV, but I mean, from the background and the experience that I have in very much diversified businesses, in manufacturing, in real estate, in construction, and shopping centers, and so on. Looking into what's happening now in the reality is something like it's very vague, and it's honestly for the young generation and from my father and grandfather to accept what's happening today in the new trending market. It's very hard to digest. Because once you see someone wakes up in the morning at the age of 15 and becoming so famous, becoming that rich without having an experience, without having a knowledge, which for us was very difficult to understand and to adapt. And then when you come to the reality, you see the same person who became famous in a split of a second, and then they vanish with, you know, similar to pandemic crisis that happened, and then you don't see them anymore. But for those who have been there, done that, and went through the process step by step, and they felt the mud, the hardcore of understanding the foundation of creating a business, those are remaining till date, regardless whatever pandemic happens, whatever chaos happens, right? They're always there doing their work in a very conventional way. Where we started and then where we ended, this is the most important. I mean, if you don't have a knowledge, you don't have an experience, you don't have a background, you can be on the screen, yes, nice, looking handsome, looking beautiful, having a filter in your face and giving that bling to the
Six-pack is
the six-pack, right? And having that, we call it plastic fantastic. And then, you know, it doesn't last for long, right? But if you look into the families of the business like Nike, Adidas, these type of brands, they still exist, they still remain, right? Even though the founder he's not there anymore, but the brand remains, right? Not only that, you will see other brands in India, in UAE. I mean, let's say Al-Futtaim, I mean, God have mercy on his soul. He passed away, but his legacy still remains. It's still there, right? And this is what you're looking for. Not for I mean, a small trend. You get, you know, high views, and then the end of the year or the end of, you know, the end of the show, you don't see that person exist anymore. And that's what we have to honestly, like, educate our children, educate our future children to understand that, yes, you can do that, right? But you need to understand the foundation of creating a business is not that easy. You have to work hard for it. You have to put the effort. You have to put the knowledge and the experience. You have to pass the educational level to have that experience, to have that knowledge, right? The moment you remove the screen out of your face, you sit with that person for 5 minutes, and I've witnessed that, right? There is no knowledge. There is no conversation, a proper conversation, I mean, a solid conversation you can gain from that person other than having a filter on his face or you know, on a camera or a telephone on his face.
So just, that goes out to the gentleman Varun at the back who shot a picture with me in the urinal recently for Insta. You know, these things will last only for a few seconds, as will our relationship. So I think please pay attention to the erudite panel. Denitsa, don't worry, I am here for you. You don't have to worry about any questions. You can just say, I don't want to answer the question, buzz off, and it's all done. You'll get a clap from everybody. Just to point out, she's a diplomat. And so an influencer in her own right, but from a different perspective. And also has an inspiration to where she comes from, the people who believe in her, her values, her philosophies. So when we say brand me, it's not just about the Insta influencers and the young crowd with their style, but also not to say that you're not young, you're very young, Denitsa. But my God, somebody stop me before I get fired. I mean, that was horrible. What a setup. That's like Arnab Goswami. I'm back here. Coming back to you, sorry, I keep talking. I'll talk too much, so just interrupt me whenever you want to. You tell us your version of brand me, which is not necessarily about yourself, but more what you sort of represent for everyone.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, News 9, for having me. I would like to personally thank to Womanpreneur Middle East Media for supporting my cause. Today I stand before you not as a woman, a diplomat, a mother, but as a symbol of a transformation. I come from the Gypsy establishment. Maybe you don't know, it's a small minority group. It's all around Europe. Originally, we come from India. And,
Originally from India?
Yes.
Somebody who escaped India says they're from India. Very rare. They're clapping for you. You've got the audience now. You won this. You don't have to
Honestly, by heart, I feel myself Indian, even though I'm married to an Arab.
You've got to join the Ghar Wapasi program with the government. Basically, get your land back. That's what it is. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
But basically, my brand is not built on trends. It's built on a true story. At the age of 23, I became the first Roma to serve as a diplomat in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Bulgaria. And by age of 27, I was already advisor of the Prime Minister on ethnical issues. But becoming this lady, all my life, I have been living between the diplomatic protocol and the gypsy pride. And I refuse to choose none of them. And this is where my strength came from. Because your identity is your power. This is what makes your brand. As we know, brand has to build on a story, legacy behind you. And I have never been ashamed of my origin. I'm proudly says, yes, myself a gypsy, and there is nothing to be ashamed of.
So I think that's a very fair point, because you're pointing out that you represent a people, people which perhaps don't, sort of a minority in every country that we have gypsies population. So the brand you is the fact that you represent this small group of people and punching above your weight. So let's give her a big hand.
They're not really small group. We're around 12 million in Europe and outside of Europe.
1 second. Madam Diplomat, please understand, you don't talk to someone who's stuck with 1,500 million people, about 12 million. It's a very small group for us, where we come from. You have no idea what it's like to live in Mumbai. We have 22 million people in about 15 feet. It's a horrible existence. Hence, a lot of Desi community comes to Dubai and suddenly finds themselves with big houses, never to return again. But that was very enthralling. Please give her a big hand, because this subject is a little difficult for us to understand. Let's go back to Neelam. Neelam, who's your favorite influencer? A person who's a brand me themselves. Is there someone that you look up to? Like, I like Rakhi Sawant and Dolly Chaiwala. Hey, come on, guys. You're clapping because you all follow, right? Stop that. This is like that India's got latent rubbish. Everybody saw it and then pretend, oh my God, what happened? Okay, sorry.
Well, growing up, I think we've been looking up to Mr. Ambani. I think everyone wants to be an Ambani today. But there's a new addition.
Which one? There are many.
Yeah, there's a new addition. I was
If
about
you
to
watch
say.
YouTube, there are many running around. So who exactly?
So Mukesh Ambani is definitely one. I think a lot of women would be envious of Shloka and Radhika because they took away the cream from India. The other influencer that I think, which is growing in fame, name, and wealth is Mr. Adani, with, of course, a lot of media coming out from
You don't
US.
have any poor friends.
I do have friends which have become poor, unfortunately. I know a few
Names,
people.
please, Neelam. Names de do.
No, so nahi, naam nahi le sakte, unfortunately.
नाम ही है ना, कमाई तो
But
गई.
yeah, they are well known in the UAE. I wine and dine with them, and sometimes people are asking me questions. How did you get to that? It's just about keeping your conscience clear, helping the right kind of people, and giving the right solution. Sometimes honesty, sincerity comes and plays in the long run. So if I have to say, I'm friends with a lot of people, the Indian community in particular, having been here for over 20 years. But having said that, I think those friendships are not of my level, simply because they're too big for so my friends are my friends who I can hang out with, have a glass of wine, and speak absolutely anything like we spoke.
Okay, that's fair. Salam, can we go to you as well in the same category? Did you have, growing up when you were very young, was there some different influences, whether sports people or somebody in the family or some famous celebrity? Was there anyone?
For every UAE citizen, for every Emirati, there is one role model, one influencer, who's Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. And peace, I mean, this person has changed our life, changed our destiny, paved our roads, gave us education, gave us the momentum of not only for us as a citizen or as a local to live, but he also gave future houses for all over the world, people to survive, to live, to have a second chance to live in this country, the beloved country. The moment he always asked, he said, for anybody is welcome to come to UAE. This land belongs to God, the people belongs to God, and this country belongs to God too. So they are more than welcome to live over here. From that, we learned everything, to be kind, to be nice, to welcome everybody. There is no race, there is no differentiate between gender, culture, and everything. We are a human being. We have the right to live together. We have the right to respect each other. We have the right to give a chance to each other and to live in a happy atmosphere and to give that chance to every person who wants to have a second chance. This was Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan.
Fair enough. Denitza, your turn.
Actually, I share the same opinion. It's very well said. There is, after what he says, there is not much to be said, but I'm also very positively influenced. What is happening at the moment in the Middle East is something so amazing. We're really witnessing so special times when it comes to ladies' empowerment. And really, this is so good that they are giving chances to all these minorities to live in this kind of establishment and to live in peace and to give them.
A lot, honestly. I've seen people who lost hope from their countries, lost hope completely. They came with nothing, zero. Started over here, made their life, made a fortune, brought their family, brought the whole entire family over here, and they're living happily ever after.
There you go. That's you guys. Don't look. That's what you've done. Well done. Well done. I'm going to, yeah, go ahead.
In addition, I would say that we are living in a very materialistic world. And for good or bad, everyone can be famous these days doing something. But holding your values and what you are standing for and your identity and your pride is something really that it will stay and it will last for the generations ahead.
Okay, let's change it a little bit now to coming back to brand me. Is also because the world is going so quickly and every day something happens and your brand gets affected by little things here and there, and then you have to do some damage control. For example, I did a little Happy Diwali last year with my wife, and which I shot for Insta. My manager's right there. And she refused to say Happy Diwali, which is fighting with me. And it appeared like she was not supporting the festival. So suddenly it goes on air. We got lots of hits, but everybody's abusing her and calling her names, etc., etc. So this kind of stuff happens all the time. I'm giving an Insta example, but going back to your world, in whatever example it is, how do you do the damage control to make sure the brand me is okay, survives the beating, and nothing much happens? So maybe Denitza will start with you.
Well, building a brand these days, I would say that it's easy and not in the same time because there is a lot of competition around, especially in the Middle East market. But, you know, if you have money, it's easy to build brand. If you don't have them, it's the difficulty. Someone to believe in yourself, the story you present, what is the story behind your brand. It's very important too. And I would like to give a small example. I have here my beautiful friend Aisha, who is building at the moment her brand called Dipsa. And yes, And if I may pass the microphone to her,
Yes,
she may
please.
share something very valuable.
We may even have an extra microphone. Lots of money spent on this event. Can we pass a microphone to the first class seating where the rich and famous are? There you go. Run like PT Usha, the Paioli Express. Run fast. No respect for any of us on stage. Go ahead, sorry.
I think when it comes to building brands, being in the F&B business for the last 8 years, for me, I think building a brand is really easy. Where we are right now is about building community. And I think when it comes to building brand, the most important thing is to take your community along with you. We've come very far from the whole curated feed and the whole perfect lifestyle, because I think a lot of us, the reality of it is none of us live perfect lifestyle. Nothing is perfect anymore. So the most important thing today is to basically, and I think before anything else, is to stay authentic and true to yourself. You've got to understand, you've got to follow your passion, you've got to follow what resonates with you and what fuels you on a daily basis. For me, food and makeup are two things that constantly fuels me. So I've built 4 brands on that. And it's got to be, you got to be able to push through on the days where you don't feel like doing anything as well. And I think that's basically what it is ultimately.
All right. Don't worry, we'll give you time for questions as well. But let's get Salam Sir's version of this.
I mean, when you're talking about brands, one of the businesses that we have is a shopping center. So the shopping center is called Dubai Outlet Mall, where we have, for the first phase, 379 shops. And we started with the second phase of the mall is 490 shops. So our main aim is actually to attract the brands. I mean, attracting the brands is very important for any business entity. I mean, for a shopping center, let's say now Dubai Mall or Mall of Emirates, if they don't have a proper brand, there is no reputation and there is no continuity of that business to be established in such a shopping center. So for us to have a proper brand, we need to know the story behind that brand. If there is no story, the brand will never last. You can open a brand at any day, right? But if you don't have a story, you don't have a target market, you don't have a vision, then what's the use of that brand? You got my point? So this is very important for us before any shop opens in our shopping center. We need to understand the story behind it, and then for how long you're going to last in that shopping center. The trust is very important. If there is no trust, people will never come to you. So to build that trust, you need a story. After the story is the trust. People will trust the brand. The moment there is a trust, people will keep coming and going, right? So for us, that's the stability. If there is no stability, I understand that the person who is planning to open a shop in our shopping center will last for 1 year. That will harm our business. So it's very, very important to have a brand, a story behind it, a success story, and then you have a market for where is actually your vision and mission, and then the trust of your clientele so that you can succeed.
Could you give us an example of one of these brand stories? Is there?
If you're talking about, let's say, I mean, one of the brand lately just started, it's called the Given Movement, right? It's an amazing brand, and they had amazing story. And also they had, I think, a token of a charity behind that brand, the percentage, some percentage of the sales they give away in a CSR, you know, corporate social responsibility of a charity, which added a value to their brand, right? And then that story also succeeded, and you will see now majority of the influencer using that brand everywhere, not only in UAE, but also it became international.
Mm-hmm. Neelam?
Well, he's talked about the Dubai story. I would talk about the brand me that a lot of people are scared of. I feel mistakes happen. A lot of people are very, very conscious about how they present themselves on the social media. And that kind of is a challenge. I think the truth stays out of, you know, the social media a lot of times. You see all the good things, not the bad things. So I'm very scared of the social media. Somebody was talking to me earlier this morning and said, you know what, do you have a profile? I said, I do have a LinkedIn profile. Do you have an Insta profile? I said, I do have, but it's only for the sake of having it, you know. So today, I don't have an Insta profile, not because it's my choice, but it is because I feel the kind of audience that I deal with doesn't want to look at the human side of me. a lot of times. They would not appreciate me putting up a reel with my friends wherein I'm dancing away. So it really depends on the industry that you're in and how people perceive you. So it's a lot about perception rather than how you would want to portray. So in the industry that I am in, I think it has to be done in an extreme cautious way.
But having said that, we can't escape social media. And I mean, everybody here is involved in some way with social media as well, because that's the modern world. So what's your advice to young people starting out in terms of, which I think Sir mentioned in the beginning, which is, to have a really tangible product? Because very often they're not able to understand, or we are not able to understand that the world is just, coming and going in about 20 seconds, literally. So what is your advice to the younger generation, maybe following your footsteps, getting into brands and things like that, but at the same time, pushing the social media envelope?
It's
And
a
by
tough,
the way, I don't understand my own question, so please help me.
It's a tough rope to walk because it, again, depends on the target audience that you're catering to. So if you're talking about a young generation and a product which is meant for the young audience, I think social media platforms which are, whether it is X or Instagram or so many others, Snapchat, TikToks are the place that you can advertise. But for serious products or the financial industry where we actually talk about money, you want to be perceived as somebody who's very serious, who takes their job seriously. So it really depends on which area of work you are in and how you would want yourself to be perceived as. Because seriousness in a job comes only in a way you present whatever you're offering to the market.
All right. We've got to wrap it up here. Guys, anything else you want to say, sir?
I'm with and against, but to be honest with you, to catch up with, you have to cope up with what's happening in the market nowadays, right? I mean, we are in in which century we are now. Social media is the most strongest, powerful tool, right? I mean, either you use it or abuse it. Now, if you want to use it in a proper way, it gives you all the means, the fast, the easy way to sell your product. There are a lot of my intern, which I help them to establish their business, and they always have that perception is like we need to have an office, we need to have a shop, we need to have that stability to start the business. But then I go, you don't have to do all of that. Social media made it so easy for you to start any type of business while you're sitting at your home, while you're sitting with your kids, while you're doing your job and the responsibility being with your family. And a lot of them, they're doing that while sitting at home, and they're doing amazing through the social media. Whether she's a chef, she's doing a cooking show, right? Whether in the agriculture, whether even though in the construction, we have a construction company. I never thought that one day that I can turn something which is very difficult for you to use, a tangible product into a social media. But once the pandemic happened, thanks to that, gave me an option to go to the social media and then sales market my business. Even though in construction, to show my clientele the progress level of the construction, where I have reached, what I have received, the quality of the product, right? And then I did my sales pitch, and thank God, it attracted a lot of people that I didn't even expect. And I have seen a lot of people, a lot of customers came to me because of the social media, right? Because they understood that I deliver quality of a product. You got my point? So I think social media is very important in our life nowadays, and if you don't grab it, and if you don't step today, I think you're losing a lot. Not only, forget about all these jokes and mimics that you see and mediocres that you see in the social media, but if you take it in a proper professional way, and if you have that experience, you guide the people on the right path, definitely you will see a good result. Right? Yes, we've seen people who are joking, laughing, making fun, but the other side, you've seen a lot of good results from the social media.
Okay, sir, you put me under pressure now because I'm in that other camp that joking and laughing, and I'm feeling very uncomfortable, plus the pant is too tight. But we've got to stop here, unless Denisa, you want to say more? No, right? We're running out of time, but questions quickly for 2 minutes. Does anybody have a... yes, please. Can we have a mic? Where's Usain Bolt gone?
It's here.
Oh, there you go.
It was a very insightful what the speakers say, but just I want to add, we've seen a lot of social media who are bubbling, like you say, fake. They swap them credit card and they are million followers and no value. Today, the business as brand, building the brand, and need the resilience first, that people has to believe on themselves what they're doing. And as a media people, which UAE now building the Arab media and global media here with the law, to brand anything, what the tip you can give to the people as you are one of pioneer on the building the brands. There is difference between brand as media and as companies, as an entity, and a brand as social media. Like I say, and you mention it, I don't want to say fake followers, but pretending to be brand. So how you can give us 3 tips for that? Thank you.
My God, ma'am, that was a very long question. But we have the answer. Sir?
You're utilizing me now. I mean, look, to be honest, sometimes we feel that it is our fault that we are not educating the people in the right path. But thanks to the Dubai government, they have opened all the means and they have opened all the channels. They have created a platform now for all the young people, the young generation, to go and learn and understand the right way. There is a new creation center where you can go and understand how to brand yourself, how to present yourself in a professional way, in a nice way, in a respectful way, not touching the race, not touching the religion, not touching the culture, not touching the political part of it, but to be very professional. If you're focusing on the product, focus on the product precisely, because a lot of people, they don't understand that the moment you enter the social media, you are open to everything, right? And the risk of it. So they think that the moment they see someone successful, they think that it's very easy to be in that peak, but they don't understand behind that successful, there is something behind the backstage, which is very terrifying and very scary. So you need to go, I mean, step by step, very professionally. You need to understand the manual, how to be in that center stage, how to be representable, how to be professional in the social media. Thanks to the Dubai government, they have given all of that means. Now you will see conferences, not only you will see exhibitions on the social media, about the social media, a huge platform, a huge summit, educating the young generation how to be a content creator. There are a lot of centers, there are a lot of business hubs where educates a lot of people. Before you start any type of business, you need to understand it's not that easy. Yes, you see it, you see the end of the result, but you need to understand the whole procedure, how to be on the top of that notch.
All right. Can we take, yeah? Do we have time for one more? Quickly, anyone? One more question. Sir, you raised your hand to play with your nose. I don't know if that's a no, that's just a nose thing, okay. Just finally a gentleman in the back, typical Indian latecomer. ठीक है, भाई, time तो बहुत है. Go ahead.
Thank you. I would like to ask the diplomat a question. Being a Roma has never been easy for centuries out in Europe. How did you manage to break through that ceiling and come across to where you are now? Very well done. Thank you. But I would like to know.
Thank you so much for this question. Actually, it's not easy to answer for me because I've been through a lot. And breaking barriers and building bridges, it's not an easy, especially being a Roma woman. But this is what it is. Sometimes it's a destiny, it's given by God, and then you just go ahead, you follow your beliefs, and it's eventually the success is coming.
As a lawyer, I'd like to point out it'll be a very immodest answer to tell you how successful she is, where she comes from, etc. But your book will explain all 10 years from now when it comes out. Fair?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Doesn't matter.
Actually, I'm planning my book. I have here my friends who are suggesting the book. So
I'll do the
you can read it in the book soon, inshallah.
I'll do the pictures. Okay. Does somebody want to ask a question? No, right? We're done? Okay, we have to wrap it up. There are all kinds of vulgar signs coming from the back with fingers. I don't know what that means, but I'll just, translate it. Guys, a big hand. I'm a bit of an idiot. No, I'm an idiot. But these three wonderful people are not, and they're punching through ceilings in some cases and remodeling society in some cases and really making a change in aesthetics in some cases. So let's show some love and respect. And now I think we are offering 5 million dirhams each to each one for participating, and there will be a felicitation. So, back to Nabila. Sorry? This is a typical Indian function where we don't know what's happening next. Don't worry. It's like a Punjabi wedding. The Sharmas will come soon. The song will start. Till then, drink something. Yes, ma'am.
You.
There you go.
Thank you so much for a lot of laughs throughout the session, and of course, for the lovely comments that came in from the dignitaries. I would request the beautiful hampers to appear here on stage, and I would also like to invite Sanjeev Mulchandani, Executive Vice President and Business Head, Vikram K, COO South TV9, to be here at stage and present the beautiful hampers to our guests on the panel.
Chief guest, my apologies.
Thank you so much.